BTMreview.com here with another Retro Rampage podcast. I'm Aaron.
I'm Zach.
And we are in episode 21, right, Zach?
Yep.
21. Some really cool news that really got me excited. It seems like we're talking about a lot lately, the current trend of, well, not even just reboots, like indie games. I think indie games and reboots, or not reboots, spiritual successors and stuff like that. I think even the spiritual successor craze, I think that's due to the independent craze that's been going on the last couple of years. And the biggest independent game that I think has come out has been Shovel Knight. And I know that's not a spiritual successor to anything, but it's taken so much liberty and influence from all these classic games. I think it's definitely added leverage to games like Mighty Number 9, and all these games that are making comebacks and things like that. But anyway, everybody loves Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight even got mixed in within that petition for Super Smash for a character, outside character to be added.
Yep.
And I think he was like number 1 or number 2 on the poll for a long time. I don't know where that sits right now, but the game's fantastic. I've talked about it a million times. I've interviewed the Yacht Club Games boys. Check out that interview on YouTube. It's super fun. And I don't know, they just announced this past week that it's finally getting a physical release. Yep. And it's going across almost everything, man. I mean, it's going to be on 3DS, it's going to be on Wii U, it's going to be on PS4 and Xbox One. Yep. Now, I don't think PS3 and 360, but who gives, right?
I'm excited to get it.
Well, the cool part, have you played it yet? Oh man, it's so good. And the thing is I already own it, but I'll totally buy it. I'll pay for it again.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how much they're going to pay for it. Charge for it. The game costs $15 if you download it. I don't imagine that it's going to be I have a feeling it's going to be a $20 game.
Yeah, 20, 30.
Even 20. I think it's going to be 20. I mean, it's only 15 online. And the thing is they're not making any money by pumping out these physical releases.
Oh, yeah.
They were doing so well. I think it's fan service, because something else that they're doing, which is super neat, and it shows exactly what school they come from. They're including a game manual in every one of them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nobody ever does that anymore. It's going to be a full color manual. It's going to be super decked out. I mean, I don't imagine they're gaining any revenue from this. I just think it's total fan service. And they're in a place right now where they really are coming off as the gaming good guys in that whole world. And that's good, man. I mean, building that sort of rapport goes a long way, because we know what happens when you build a shitty rapport. Like, you can wreck your legacies. Capcom, Konami, people trust these companies as far as they can throw them now, with their microtransactions and everything. Granted, Yacht Club Games, they don't have the revenue to do that kind of thing. They're not big dogs, I mean, these big dogs with all these, legacy franchises, I guess, can get away with, fucking you over. But Yacht Club, they're doing it right, because the thing is even with the online versions, if you buy the game, all of their DLC and updates are free.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's free. So when you buy the game, it's the same thing. You're going to buy, I'm pretty sure when you buy the Xbox One version, for example, you're going to have the Battletoads shit in there that they included.
Yeah.
And everything, there's still stuff to come. Like they're going to add, you're going to be able to play as the Order of No Quarter, which are the bad guys, like the villains from like Mega Man. You fight a new, Knight, Plague Knight, things like that. They're gonna add it to where you can play as the villains, and the dialogue and the story will be sort of reversed and different as far as their motives. And they're gonna have a gender swapping mode where it's exactly the way it sounds. Like you're a girl, and everybody else is. This genders are swapped with the way they act and the way they talk. It's just fun stuff, and they're adding a battle mode. I mean, this is all stuff that would cost a fortune.
This is all in Shovel Knight?
It's all in Shovel Knight.
Okay.
Like they're supporting it. I mean, even when I interviewed them, everybody's asking them, okay, so this is such a hit. And when I interviewed them, the game had just come out.
Yeah.
And it had been hyped and everything else with Kickstarter and stuff like that, but it had come out and it was getting rave reviews and everybody loved it and applauding it. And everybody was asking them, okay, so Shovel Knight 2, right? Shovel Knight 2. And they gave me the answer of, of course, I mean, that's going to be somewhere down the pipeline, but honestly, we're going to support Shovel Knight over the next couple of years. They're honoring stretch goals, and we're adding all this content.
Yeah.
It's like well, for the next 6 months, we're working on this battle mode and the gender swap, and they're adding all these cool features, man, and they're not charging for it. It's ultimate fan service, and it's the way to go, because it's only going to make their follow-up sell like hotcakes, you know? Like,
Yeah.
oh, these are the good guys. And they had a really cool idea. Everybody's talking about Shovel Knight 2, but and I was like, they were talking about with me, like, oh, just kind of hypothetically, like, because I was drilling them about it, and they were like, oh, you know, it'd be kind of cool to like do like a Super Shovel Knight.
Oh,
And
yeah.
somebody's like, or a Shovel Knight 64.
Yeah.
Like, just kind of, that would be fucking awesome.
Arcade edition.
Yeah. And of course, then, you know, we started, that's a really fun conversation. You should go, did you ever listen to that, Zach?
I don't think I did.
It is so much fun, man, because I'm just talking with the whole crew, and we're just basically talking games, and, you know, like, all right, we're having the lightning round, Mario 3 or Mario World, you know, just shit like that, and everything turned into a big geek out session, which, by the way, I was the only one that favored Mario World over 3.
Oh, really?
I got fucked. Well, I know it's one of those games, I just think, you know,
They're both perfect.
but Mario World is just, I think it's, I mean, a lot of people give it to 3, I know that, but there are some people that give it to World, you know, it's, I just happened to be in a room with 3 people that like Mario 3. That was the way it swung, and I was Mario World. And but you know, and then we talked about the greatness of Mario 64 being the greatest innovator for 3D platforming, and just talking about awesome stuff, man. It's if you like podcasting and retro games, go listen to that one, because those guys know their shit. And definitely, man, these guys, if you haven't played Shovel Knight yet, download it, and if you know, physical copies are your thing, man, or wait to get it. But I think these guys deserve being supported.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Did you see that thing I sent you about the guy that does Bloodstained? He did like a drawing of Shovel Knight, the character.
No,
You didn't see that? Well, he did it, and people were kind of speculating whether or not it's going to be the third playable character, because one of the
Bloodstained.
Yeah, one of the stretch goals was a second one, and they got that, and the third one, and was that.
Was he Castlevania-ized?
Yeah, it looked really cool.
I have not heard about it, man. But I'm stoked, man. I think we're entering another great era in gaming. You know, with the indie thing and the whole just the retro revival. I mean, I was getting a little sick of it, you know, but because I mean, they seemed like new games that were made intentionally, and and they were. It's like bands today. It's like that whole like rock 70s revival where you have these modern bands trying to sound like Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, hey, we're going to record analog. We're going to record, you know, one track left channel bass, one track right channel guitar, and keep it really stripped down. It sounds like a record from, 1972 or whatever. And that's awesome because, I mean, obviously I love bands like Black Sabbath and I love like Deep Purple and stuff. But I mean, at the same time, I'm not about time capsules. Like we can be influenced by certain things and still move forward.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, Shovel Knight, man, Shovel Knight's, I don't know, man. They really hit it out of the park. Like, it just seems like the perfect game from that era with some really cool little modern tweaks that never came out. It's awesome. So they hit it out of the park, and I suggest everybody check it out if you already haven't. Now, speaking of this whole indie spiritual successor and Kickstarter trend, you were just informing me about a fan-made spiritual successor to Silent Hills.
Yep.
Silent Hill, sorry. Oh, no, to Silent Hills.
Silent Hills,
The one that was canceled.
AKA PT, if you played the demo.
Explain that to me, because I'm unfamiliar.
Well, it's called Allison Road. Mm-hmm. And I've been seeing a bunch of stuff about it. It says Allison Road is a first-person game currently in pre-alpha, where you play an unnamed protagonist waking up with no memory, sorry. It takes place in one British hometown, and it looks really cool.
I'm not sure, but I have a really big question with this. How in the world is this a spiritual successor to Silent Hills? And couldn't it only be a spiritual successor to the PT demo at most?
Yeah, I think they're just calling it that since that's a big thing.
It's a marketing thing?
Yeah, I think so.
All they can go off of is the PT demo. They don't know the story of Silent Hills. And even then, was the PT demo set in England? This just sounds like they're making... And it wasn't even first person, was it?
Yeah, the PT demo was in first person.
Oh, that's right, because they revealed Norman Reedus at the end.
Yeah.
Was the whole game meant to be in first person, or was that the teaser?
I think it was the teaser. I can't even imagine a Silent Hill game being in first person.
No, that's really lame. So, what do you think? It's a marketing thing? Just a marketing ploy?
Yeah, it looks like these guys have been, or it says this guy's been working on it since 2014. but it's since grown. It was just him, but it's since grown to a team of 6 making it.
So he was working on it before Silent Hills got scrapped, and now that it got scrapped, we're going to call it that?
Yeah, probably.
I mean...
It looks really cool. Like,
I bet it does, but... I don't know. Now, how long before they get sued for milking a name, milking somebody else's intellectual property for revenue and hype, you know?
Yeah, it's hard telling.
I mean, that's kind of like bait and switch. I mean, like I said, we'll watch how fast Nintendo pull down people's just like fun little experiments they're not even trying to sell. I mean, is this guy trying to sell this supposed spiritual sequel?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think he could. If he's really trying to, you know, build off the Silent Hill name, I don't see how he could.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Speaking of, like, remember last episode, the one that got lost? We were talking about Silent Hill, and you were talking about how you never played the third one and stuff. Like, all that talk actually got me wanting to play him again, so I was playing it before we started doing this. The second one.
We talked about it on the last pod, episode 20, but last week we recorded a few episodes, and we joked that Skynet took over, and somehow we lost all those episodes, lost all those recordings, but we talked about, I don't remember why we were talking about Silent Hill. Something, we were on the topic of HD, these HD collections.
Yeah.
And we brought up the Silent Hill one naturally with 2 and 3, and I got it when it first came out because, of course, I love Silent Hill 1, I love Silent Hill 2, and I remember, Zach, you had complained that they changed the voice acting in Silent Hill 2. And me, I played the original Silent Hill 2 when it first came out, like 10 years ago. And that was I only played through it once. So I didn't remember. So to me, I didn't even notice.
Yeah,
so.
Silent Hill 2 has the original voices, but not the third one.
Oh, it's 3. Okay.
Yeah. And I actually got the collection for pretty cheap. And it looks like a lot of the things I was talking about might have been fixed.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about like through patches?
Yeah, patches.
Silent Hill 2, what you were telling me was like breaks in the fog and the graphics and glitches and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never even caught any of that. So, but yeah, 3 I never played. And Zach, he's talking it up over here saying how great it was. But, you know, I'll have to play it. But yeah, talking about it has really, I forgot I owned it. And I bought it so I could play both of them. I'm like, cool, man. Well, you know, I'll start with 2 since, you know, let's go in chronological order here, yada, yada, yada. And I didn't even get through 2 just because, you know, I'm old as shit now and I'm busy. But I put a few hours in 2 and didn't go back. I think I got roped into like Demon Souls or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I never made it to the third one. So I'm real tempted to bust out 2 and 3 and play through 3 because you said it has one of your favorite scenes in it, right?
Oh, yeah.
The mirror. Don't spoil it.
Yeah, I won't.
Because I wanna see it, but
and real quick, there's another spiritual sequel that I heard about. You want me to say it real quick?
No, Zach, you may not. Yeah, go ahead.
It's a Mega Man Legends spiritual sequel.
What? When did this happen?
Oh, you didn't get the picture I sent you of that?
No.
It's going to be called Red Ash. It looks like... Yeah, it's the same guy that made Mega Man Legends. Weren't you saying you didn't like Mega Man Legends, though?
I played the first Mega Man Legends, and, you know, at the time, it's something that... It doesn't look like it's something that would age very well. Like, I'm sure if I played it now, I'd be like, ugh. But when I had it on the PlayStation, and I got it for Christmas when it first came out, actually, and I think I was just polarized by it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the game was shitty, or if I was polarized by how un-Mega Man it was and how much I just didn't understand it. You know, maybe I don't know how much I really gave the game a chance. So yeah. I'd be definitely intrigued to play those again. I never played the second one though, but
yeah, I never got to play any of them.
So this is also a fan thing if they're using the Mega Man name.
This is the original guy that made Mega Man Legends.
That's crazy. Everybody and their mom is taking advantage of this huge resurgence, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you? I would too. Everybody's seen how much money people are throwing at these games like Bloodstained and Shenmue 3 and Yooka-Laylee. It's insane. This is awesome. This gets me so pumped.
Yeah.
And it's really sad, man, because I wonder if it has Capcom kicking themselves. Because we had talked about the success of stuff like Shenmue 3, someone like Sony back in that. You know, we talked about, well, if Capcom is that afraid that they're not going to turn over a good enough profit, they could always experiment with this, even if I don't know if they'd stay within the ethics or not of that practice, but they would see like, hey, fans want it. even if it was like in the form of a pre-order, like, hey, if you guys want us to make this, pre-order it now.
Yeah.
Give us the money we would charge for the game, and then, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
I mean, it'll raise enough that'll at least say that we're going to turn a profit. I mean, what's wrong with that? Why has there got to be all this extra stuff? I mean, it's just pre-ordering something, for God's sake. So I wonder if someone like Capcom is now rolling over. It's like, damn it, like the Mega Man Legends guy is doing a Kickstarter for this, and you got Mighty Number 9 coming out. I wonder if any point someone's like, all right, look, like watch. Let's say this Mega Man Legends one does gangbusters, like all these other games are doing. Who's to say that someone like Capcom doesn't notice? This guy's doing the work for Capcom. He's going to notice, shit, man, look at all the people, look at all the money that people are dumping in this spiritual successor. Maybe we should make one.
Yeah.
And just totally cockblock this guy, because we know the interest is there,
Yeah.
So hell, I mean, they don't even have to be dirty about it. They can be like, look, we'll hire you back.
Yeah.
Like, look at all this interest that you're gathering just on your proposed spiritual successor. That's if I was Capcom, that's what I'd be like. All right, look, so we don't look bad, more bad than we already do in front of the audience these days. Capcom, those fuckers, offer that guy a job and be like, hey, let's do this legit. Yeah, I didn't realize that. That's pretty incredible though. I don't know, man. I'm stoked about it though. I can't talk enough about it. But yeah, everybody out there, buy Shovel Knight and fucking. I don't know, man. They're happening all these things are coming out so fast. Like, I didn't know about these. It's like a new one's getting announced every day. Some like sort of disgruntled ex-developer or creator that got burned by their original company. And, I mean, I know it didn't come out during all this hype this year, but it's the same story with like The Last Story when that came out a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. It's the same type of deal. I mean, this has been going on for a couple years where you have the Final Fantasy creator going off and making his own game. Obviously, The Last Story. I mean, you can't get more tongue-in-cheek than that. And even Nobuo Uematsu jumping on board with him. I think it's awesome, and that game just got rave reviews. It's got an excellent soundtrack, so I don't know. I'm excited, man. I like this. I like the fact that I can jump on a podcast and you inform me of 3 new ones that were announced since I last checked the fucking updates. Good Lord, man. So I'm stoked. I think it, if it keeps going at this rate, it really could change the tide of the market.
Yeah.
Who knows, man. But anyway, I'm excited. I hope all you guys are excited. Let us know what you're looking forward to. I think in particular, man, personally, the Silent Hill thing, that sounds kind of like schemy to me. It just sounds a little, whatever. I haven't even seen screenshots of it yet. I'm sure it looks good and all that. I think the Mega Man Legends thing is super interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody thinks about that. Especially, I wouldn't be surprised if that guy was like, I'm surprised if he probably looked at just what Mighty Number 9, something like Shenmue did, and he's like, fuck, man, everybody talks about Mega Man Legends just as much as they do Shenmue.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I don't know why it would not be gangbusters. So whatever, man. Hopefully they keep coming out of the woodwork. And I think a good idea for another podcast later on, maybe next week, would be some ideas of other developers, other games we'd like to see come back,
Yeah.
Like what ex-developers will we see like take advantage of this new trend and come out of the woodwork? That'd be a lot of fun. But until then, hit us up on YouTube, btmreview.com. The Facebook, the Twitter, the Tumblr for all you tweeny boppers, and let us know what you think about all this stuff. What you think about the Shovel Knight release. What do you think about them providing fan service, including a manual, man? My favorite thing when I was a kid was opening up the manual and smelling it.
Isn't that crazy that they got rid of stuff like that?
That's only been a couple of years, too.
Yeah.
It's been so recent, but literally, this is how recent it was. I think the first game where I noticed that didn't have a manual was, because even Wii U games started out having manuals.
Yeah.
I believe Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze has a manual, but I bought Hyrule Warriors and I opened it up like, these motherfuckers forgot to put my manual in.
It's almost like you expect they'd stop doing it to save paper, but then they put in a little thing telling you that the manual, there's a digital manual on the game disc or something like that.
Well, that's the excuse that they're going green, because they also, remember how they were doing the Club Nintendo inserts?
Yeah.
Yeah, they stopped doing that. Like Hyrule Warriors, there was no manual, and then I noticed that, where's my club insert? Where's my insert? Because I like to redeem, I went back, rest in peace, Club Nintendo. But I would redeem all those points. But, and then I finally found it. They printed the Club Nintendo code on the back of the insert.
Yeah, I had a bunch of codes that I forgot to freaking do, too.
It's just, whatever. Going green's fine. I mean, I just miss my manuals. I miss the smell of them. I mean, the greatest smelling manual of all time is Link to the Past. That fucking manual, man, it smells delicious. Whatever it is, that material, that there's something in the toner, the ink. But you know how some of them have different smells?
I don't think I've ever smelled them.
You've never smelled a manual? Dude, I would sit there and huff these manuals. I couldn't get enough of them. There's something in it, and it might be bad, because, I mean, maybe there's something to the smell or ink or something. But I still have a couple of, whether it be magazines or manuals, that are still made from that certain material that remind me of the Link to the Past book, because it's not all of them. And I'll just huff it and huff it and huff it and huff it and huff it, and it looks really silly, but it's just nostalgia, man. It takes me back a whiff.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was too much information for all you folks. Let us know what you think about my problem. And Shovel Knight, man, the fan service, and let us know what you think about the Mega Man Legends spiritual successor. That is extremely fascinating to me, and I'm interested to seeing when that goes live and how that does. But until then, I'm Aaron.
I'm Zach.
And you guys have been awesome. Later.